Roar with me, Honolulu Blue faithful, because Lions News Fan Report is back with a thunderbolt of intrigue. Hit that like button if you can feel the electricity crackling in Allen Park right now. Could one player on this roster be poised to redefine everything we thought we knew about Detroit's identity? Is there a hidden spark ready to ignite a championship run? Or will the X factor we desperately crave remain just out of reach? Imagine a stage set by last season's highs and lows, a defense that flirted with greatness before fading at the wrong moment, an offense that dazzled but sometimes sputtered when the lights burned brightest, and a locker room brimming with talent but hungry for an unmistakable leader. Now ask yourself, who among our brightest stars will step into that role? Could it be the relentless force who terrorized quarterbacks in year one, only to face whispers that he might never recapture, that disruptive edge? What if he's secretly been honing his craft, training under the radar, ready to roar back as the fiercest pass rusher in football? Or maybe our answer lives in the electric hands of the man who hauled in every target thrown his way, a true human highlight reel whose crisp route running and fearless catches turned broken plays into instant classics. Could he become more than just a reliable option and evolve into the game-breaking centerpiece this offense craves? And let's not forget the rookie sensation who zipped through the college ranks like a lightning bolt, a shifty playmaker with the vision to find seams defenses never knew existed. What if this dynamic newcomer is no mere complement but the missing gear that pushes Detroit's offense into overdrive? These are the questions buzzing through the facility as coaches watch tape, as teammates share knowing nods, and as fans debate feverishly online. Who will carry this franchise on their shoulders? With training camp looming, the suspense is nearly unbearable, yet the signs are everywhere. Pivotal film sessions where one defender's hand syndrome drills have left veterans muttering about a next-level motor. Practice reports of a receiver whose off-season grit on the track has shaved tenths off his 40-yard dash. Whispers that our rookie back is already outpacing veterans on agility runs and stop-and-go routes. The evidence is mounting, but the revelation must be earned in the bright lights of preseason action. So here's the twist. The player we've all circled on the depth chart, the one we assumed would need another year to blossom, has quietly taken command of every meeting, every drill, every locker room huddle. His eyes burn with purpose, his voice carries the weight of a true leader, and his presence alone elevates those around him. Detroit's coaches aren't just impressed, they're in awe. He's the player who has turned skeptics into believers, before he's even seen a single snap of the regular season. That player is none other than Aidan Hutchinson, the ferocious edge rusher whose rookie season promise felt like destiny, and whose off-season metamorphosis suggests he's on the brink of greatness only legends achieve. But will he deliver the all-world impact we desperately need? Can he reclaim that game-shattering power and become the embodiment of Detroit's defensive resurgence? The answers won't come until he storms onto that field, but one thing is certain. Hutchinson's transformation could be the catalyst that turns this into the most electrifying Lions season in decades. Stick around, because when preseason rolls around, we'll be watching Detroit's new defensive juggernaut in action, and you won't want to miss a single thunderous hit. If you believe the Lions are finally ready to roar, hit that like button, and let's finish what we started, because we're standing on the brink of something monumental in Detroit. And trust me, you don't want to miss the climax of this saga. Picture a defense so fearsome that opposing quarterbacks wake up in cold sweats, imagining Aidan Hutchinson bursting off the edge like a bullet from a gun. Imagine that same defense creating turnovers at a historic clip, flipping field position and changing games in the blink of an eye. If Hutchinson recaptures, and perhaps even surpasses, the 9.5 sacks and 20 tackles for loss he notched as a rookie, we could be looking at a season reminiscent of Jared Allen's breakthrough in 2007, when his 14 sacks sparked Detroit's last true playoff surge. But it all starts with belief. When Dan Campbell looked into his eyes and saw not just a pass rusher but a leader, that moment marked the true turning point. Hutchinson is no longer merely promising young talent. He's Detroit's defensive lieutenant, the kind of force that galvanizes every linebacker, every safety, every fan in the stands. Imagine Ford Field crackling each time he lines up, crowds rising as one, anticipating carnage in the backfield. That electricity would transform this franchise's identity from a team that fought valiantly to one that strikes fear, and that shift resonates deep in the soul of every fan who endured the playoff drought. But fearlessness on defense alone isn't enough. This transformation must echo across the locker room, carry into the offense, and seep into the very culture of this organization. What if teams start scheming around Hutchinson so heavily that running lanes open for Jahmyr Gibbs, unleashing the kind of explosive ground game we haven't seen in Detroit since Barry Sanders danced through defenders? What if opposing coordinators spend so much time double-teaming Hutch that Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker find themselves in more one-on-one matchups, giving Jared Goff the split-second windows he needs to connect with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson? Williams on deep routes that could stretch the field and punish defenses like an old-school Lions air raid? We're talking about a ripple effect that turns one elite talent into an avalanche of defensive dominance and offensive creativity, the kind of synergy that breeds dynasty talk instead of what-if lamentations. And let's not forget the postseason stakes. This defense, supercharged by Hutchinson's resurgence, could be the difference between a heartbreaking wildcard loss and a statement-making divisional victory. Think back to 1991, when the Barry, Sanders-led offense and that no-nonsense defense carried Detroit to the NFC Championship. Imagine that same balance, but modernized for today's hyperspeed NFL. The parallels are uncanny. A franchise on the cusp of greatness, fueled by transcendent talent and guided by coaches unafraid to let their stars shine. Yet the question remains, can Hutchinson stay healthy, handle the physical and mental grind, and maintain that relentless motor over a full 17-game stretch? If he does, the impact will reverberate far beyond the stats sheet. Young players will feed off his energy. Veterans will rise to new levels, and every seat in the stadium will feel like the 50-yard line. That kind of momentum changes seasons. It changes legacies. It changes how the entire league views Detroit. We've already seen flashes of this defense's potential in training camp, from bone-crunching sacks in 7-on-7 drills to second-level run stops that have coaches high-fiving in the booth. We've heard the whispers. This is the best I've seen him. He's playing with a chip the size of Michigan. And those murmurs are turning into roars. We're not speculating on whether Hutchinson can reach that next plateau. We're asking when the world will witness it. And once it happens, the Lions won't just be contenders, they'll be a statement. So, Lions fans, it's time to rally. Around this moment, share this video, tell your friends, and let everyone know that when Detroit's defenders take the field, the ground will shake. Because if Aidan Hutchinson does unleash the force we know he has inside, this season won't be defined by tinkering around the edges. It'll be defined by domination, by the kind of defensive mastery that history books remember. That's the future we're staring at, the destiny we're daring to embrace. Now, let that sink in. Are you ready to witness Aidan Hutchinson reclaim his throne and lead the Detroit Lions to a revival unlike anything we've seen in decades? Because if he does, we'll all be able to say we were there for the moment, and that, my friends, will be a memory worth a lifetime.